Hey guys, I'm Richard Beck. You're watching Beck's Armory, and this video is going to be a lot different than 99% of all my videos. This is normally a fabrication slash machining metal worker type of channel. This channel is about my hobbies, and one of my hobbies is eating morel mushrooms. Now, I only get to do this one time a year because, of course, morels only grow one time a year, and so it's very, very limited season. And so yeah, I'm gonna show you the best, hands down, way to fry your morel mushrooms. Before we get into this video, smash that like button, it would really help. All right guys, here we go. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is I cut them all in half. Now, when you first pick these, they are incredibly fragile, so you can't just push down or they'll all break apart, right? So make sure you have a sharp knife, cut them all in half like this, and rinse them out really well, because sometimes bugs like to hide in the little crevices or they'll get inside. So clean them really well, and then after that, I sit them in a bowl of water with salt at least an hour. You can leave them in this water for 24 hours if you would like. And the nice thing is then the next day, 24 hours later, they're much more flexible and they survive the battering process better. But you can eat them within an hour. Some people, I think, eat them raw. I don't. So yeah. So now that they're like this, I want to take them out of the water, but their surface tension retains a lot of water, right? So I just kind of try to get the water out because I'm going to batter these with egg, and I don't want it all watered down. So you simply get them all out, shake off the water, you crack the egg. This is pretty self-explanatory. I put them in here. Now, this process I used to do much differently than I do now. So I'm just going to just kind of stir them around very gently. Be very careful because they are still fragile. I'm only going to be eating about half of these tonight. The rest I've left in the salt water, and I'll eat those tomorrow. So I used to then take these out and toss them in flour, but I've discovered that does not coat them very well, right? So we've got a new and improved process for getting these perfectly coated with batter. And I've found that that is the key with this whole process. I've seen a lot of people do this and they do a really terrible job with like battering the actual mushrooms. So I've got them all in there. Now we're going to make the powdery stuff that we put in there. And also, I'm clearly not a chef, a baker, or a professional, but I've got this down. I've got this down pat, right? So I'm gonna use the wrong terminology, the wrong words to describe this stuff, but trust me, they're still gonna taste amazing. So hang in there. I'm gonna take a teaspoon, super heaping. Well, this is not a teaspoon, it's just like an eating spoon. But anyways, I make it as full as I can get it, and I put it in there. And now, take some cornmeal, and about that much. Those of you who are actual chefs are gonna be like, he's doing it all wrong! But don't worry, trust me, it's gonna taste good. This is garlic salt with parsley. And I just put some of that in there. Then we've got fresh black pepper. I'm gonna put some of this in there. Okay, so this, I hope you're still here for this part because this is where everybody goes wrong, right? It's what everybody does that makes these turn out terrible, in my mind. is they take those mushrooms that have all the egg on it, and they put them in here, right? And you get dry chunks of flour sticking to your mushrooms, and then instantly it all turns soggy, so the last half get nothing on them. Don't do that, okay? So, this is my trick. I've got the egg, and I've got the mushrooms in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sprinkle some of this on top. Okay? I'm gonna take a spatula and I'm just gonna flip them over. This works a little better with a larger batch, but I wanna save some for tomorrow. And I already gave a bunch of these away to my parents for Mother's Day. This is my parents' favorite thing, right? And I'm the only one of their children who has property where these grow. So, yeah. Okay, so the batter is getting thicker. This is the key right here. When I tried like tossing those in here, it just does not work. It works terribly. But this basically just thickens the egg and gets this really nice even coating on there. Maybe a fork will work better in this bowl. Last time I did this I had a much larger bowl, and so the spatula worked better, but this fork I feel like is working better in this bowl. So when you stir this, you're not getting chunks of flour that are just gonna sit on there, and it just keeps getting thicker and thicker. See, I'm gonna put all of this in there, but I don't want to put it all in at one time. All right, there's the rest. Okay, now it's all in. So now fry them in butter until they are crispy on the outside but soft in the middle. Got the butter in the pan. We're gonna let this heat up. Do not skimp on the butter, and don't use like olive oil or all that other stuff. Butter, man, butter, butter. Also, you can throw some onions in here, but not right away, because the onions are gonna get done faster than the mushrooms, and then they're gonna be burnt, crispy, tasting onions. So sometimes I'll do onions, but only at the very end. When the mushrooms are almost completely done, you can throw some onion in there, but I'm not doing that this time. We're just gonna do the mushrooms. So once you get your butter in there and it gets melted, you can start throwing these things in. Now I like to put them all in the same direction, and then I just flip them all. You know, just helps me keep track so they all get done kind of the same. So you're actually getting a lot more batter on these than if you had just tossed them in flour. And so I've had times where in the past where I just kind of like toss them in the flour and flip them over, and they're not like battered, right? And sometimes you like, yeah, this is so much better. And as I'm sticking them in there, you know, I can put a little extra batter because they're face down. You know, I can scoop some out with a fork here. Well, if I had a spoon, it'd work better. And you know, you can put a little bit of extra batter on there. Now, my mom is not a fan of this as well. Actually, she loved them. So, but when I was a kid, she didn't make them this way. She is what you call a Morel mushroom purist. So they don't dip them. Like me and my kids, we dip them in ranch dressing. But not my parents. They want as much Morel flavor as possible. So now I can take some of this batter on some of these. You know, and I can put that on top. Some of them have really deep, like crevices. You can kind of set that in there. So this is just egg. You could cook that, I guess. I don't. All right. So the goal is a nice, just little crispy skin on the outside, soft in the middle, dip them in some ranch. Guys, these are gonna be the best morel mushrooms you've ever eaten. All right, these are gonna start to transition from this like yellow cornmeal egg color to a nice golden brown. All right, and you're getting that nice crispy fried crust on the outside and the soft mushroom on the inside. So there you go. Now I need somebody to tag me in a video of how to make the sauce they have at Outback for the bloomin' onions. That's what I want to dip these in, but I don't know how to make it. So if you know how to make that, make a video and tag me in it. Tag Outback's Armory, and I'll watch it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already hit that like button, smash it. That's really gonna help me. If you want to see more videos like this, I'm sorry. All the rest of my videos are gonna be fabrication and metalworking, and if you like that, great, so do I. Make sure you subscribe.